Well, the MSCA Escuela en Condición. We respectfully acknowledge that we are meeting on the traditional and ancestral lands of the Coast Salish people, where we live, learn, and play. Adoption of the agenda, please. Moved by trustee Lee, seconded by trustee Thorne. All those in favor? Thank you. Minutes of the April 1st, 2023 open meeting, moved by trustee Thorne and trustee Croft. Thank you. All those in favor? Recognitions and delegations. So the Board of Education would like to recognize members of the working group that helped create board policy 25, identity belonging. Joining us tonight, we have Ann Russell, Lisa, and Superintendent Gray, as well as Secretary Treasurer Sanders. Board policies typically a way in which the operations of the board are reported out to the community. However, this working group worked to decolonize policy making and this effort into restore the practice that is truly representative of our larger community. Seriously. Policy 25, identity, belonging, and connection, lays out a roadmap for the board and the district to follow to ensure our schools and workplaces are safe, welcoming, and community places. On behalf of the community and the board, this working group developed a policy that will provide equitable, inclusive, diverse educational opportunities free of racism, marginalization, and discrimination for all students and staff. Tonight, we would like to offer a sincere thank you to the members of this working group for their incredible contributions and connections, and reflective practices that led to the creation of Policy 25, Identity, Belonging, and Connection. We are proud of the work that you have done for the benefit of our students, staff, family, and school communities of the Cowichan Valley and School District. The board is pleased to recognize the working group members in a presentation of certificate and a token of our thanks. So I ask that Mike Greenslade please come forward. Thank you for all your work. It's greatly appreciated. Right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And Mike Russell, thank you for being there to lead all that. Also honor the members of the committee that aren't here with us tonight. So I would also like to recognize Dolly Sylvester, Mary Peter, Hannah Morales, Kara Michael, Shula. Thank you. Sophia Elliott, Jordana White, and Camille Fraser.
I'd just like to offer that having been to a recent BCSTA seminar on related themes, that you and your colleagues on this committee are so far ahead and such a great, sophisticated and compassionate understanding of all of these matters and what it means to us. And I would just like to really compliment you on that and say thank you, because the difference was breathtaking. So there you go.
Yep. All right, moving on. Before the closed meeting, please.
Thank you. The board met in closed session prior to open. The business was concluded. The board reviewed staffing information, provided tenure awards, and reviewed property items.
Thank you, Mr. Syquist, Superintendent of Schools, please.
Okay, moving on to 6.1.1. Several changes are being made to the principal and vice principal assignments for next year, which are shown on the attached list of principal and vice principal assignments for 2023-2024. These are effective as of August 1st. Also, part of the announcement were the district assignment of Ronald Olson being appointed to the Associate Superintendent and Jen Christensen being appointed Manager of Human Resources, and their role will be effective May 1st, as of yesterday. These changes were communicated to schools and district staff on April 27th. And then moving on to 6.2.1, the National Day of Awareness for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls and Two-Spirited People, also known as Red Dress Day, May 5th. That's coming up this week on Friday. This is also known as that Red Dress Day, where red is worn or red clothing is displayed to honor and remember missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and two-spirited people. And I want to congratulate QB. They were here in our building, handing out little pins with QB on it, acknowledging that particular day. Well, thanks to them.
I believe trustee Thorne has.
Point, just a comment to superintendent. The proper pronunciation now is to include men and boys with all of this.
Trustee Thorne.
Moving on to the Move High Campaign Day on May the 11th, 2023. It is a movement of Indigenous and non-Indigenous men and boys working together to end gender-based violence. May 11th is official campaign day. It's grounded in ceremony and Indigenous values. This campaign is a grassroots movement inviting Indigenous and non-Indigenous men and boys alike alongside all Canadians to stand up against violence towards women, children, and all those along the gender continuum. Wearing a moose hide pin is an outward sign of your commitment to honor, respect, to protect the people in your life, and to stand up against violence. I want to share that information with the board. Thank you. Moving on to district scholarships update 6.2.3. This year we received 78 district scholarships shared between our 4 high schools, Cowichan Valley Open Learning and the Grove. Each scholarship is worth $1,250. Some of the board members here, you have been invited to join school staff as judges. Students are judged on their achievement in an area of non-academic study, commitment to the non-academic area, general proficiency in other subject areas, involvement in community, extracurricular and citizenship, and their overall ability to prepare and perform a presentation. The dates of the judging are included in the year-end event attachment in the agenda package, which I will speak to next. Moving on to 6.2.4. Attached in this agenda is a revised list of graduation and year-end events. The list has been updated to reflect the following changes. So there's been a few more changes. The date for the Cowichan Secondary School Scholarship and Bursary Night has been moved from June 6th to June 5th. Times for the Open Learning Grad walk-up for satellite sites has been moved from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. at Open Learning. And CBOC has moved from 5:30 to 6:30. So please take note of those changes. And of course, the times and locations of district scholarship judging have also been added. You'll be able to see that in your attachment. Moving on to 6.2.5, school fees and deposit schedule. So you will also find that in your package today. The school district may charge fees for goods and services in accordance with Ministerial Order 236-07 and Section 82 of the School Act. The district may also require refundable or partly refundable deposits for education resource materials in accordance with Section 82 of the School Act as well. Just want to highlight a few of the items on this particular fee schedule. In accordance with the school district's administrative procedure 505, student fee schedules must be approved by the superintendent by May 31st for implementation for September of this following year. So that is the purpose behind this document. For policy 2, roles of board, the board has retained the right to approve fees for academies, international students, and other province students. The school fees and deposit schedule for next school year 2023-2024 is attached for board information. Of note, there are no changes to standard district fees at this time. Under specialty value-added PE courses, soccer has been removed from this list, but it has been moved to the academy list. No change to other refundable deposit section. And there are 2 sections for academies, those with fees and those without fees. Note that the academies that are listed are already established and they were approved in prior years by the board. Later in the agenda, under committee section, there are recommendations regarding approval of the fees for these academies. Once the board authorizes the fees to be charged for those academies, the fees will be added to the schedule. So the board will recall that from our last meeting. And there are also recommendations regarding academy proposals for Francis Healthy Secondary. If approved, those academies and their fees will be added to the schedule. We just wanted to highlight that to the board for information for next year. Moving on to the superintendent update, we do have a few photos. We have a few things before the event, and I know that the secretary will help me. Acknowledgements and appreciation in this report. Human resources staff, I would like to thank them for all their work around the electronic dispatch system, which is now dispatching our teachers teaching on call and teachers that began entering all absences in Easy Connect. All involved also in the April 17th non-instructional day of leadership by our teacher leaders as well as our principals and vice principals to organize that day. And then also with regard to our operations and transportation staff, every year at this time of the year, there are a number of events that are large in nature, everything from award ceremonies to grad, and I would really like to express my appreciation to all of their work around these large scale community events. It's a busy time of year. Secondly, I want to let the board know that we have 5 new administrative procedures. They were highlighted at our board education board committee meeting. We have new AP 158 corporate identity, new AP 168 Cedar planting brushing ceremony, new AP 204 learning resources, new AP 514 management of school-based grant generated funds, new AP 551 memorials in schools. How that goes. And then moving on, surveys and assessments, the student learning survey, previously known as the satisfaction survey, it has been extended to May the 12th. And this is our student learning survey, and it happens at our grade 4, 7, 10, and 12 level. And it's there for students here in South in public schools. Then moving on, we have our parent, child, mother, and spring 2023. What this is that the sessions are now open. They are open from the end of April to the end of June at 3 different locations: Halberton Library, Discovery Elementary, and Maple Bay Elementary. These are playful experiences for learners who are 3 to 5 years old and their adults. Activities enrich the lives of our parent and child relationships based on rhymes, songs, and storytelling. And so you can contact Learning Links for more information to register. One of our 7 things that happen for 0 to 5-year-olds. Moving on to the Catalyst update, and the Catalyst, again, it is enrichment programs for all of our learners across the district. And so the Catalyst team hosted the Young Authors Conference, which is going to be held tomorrow at the DIU Crouching campus on May the 3rd. Several authors from our extended community will host writing workshops for almost 100 students from grades 5 to 12. These students will have the opportunity to attend writing sections with published authors, as well as hear authors read from their works. Young Authors only happens every 2 years. So if you have the opportunity, be worthy of going to the campus tomorrow in Patterson. Now, this is where we begin our photo show. Thank you, Secretary Treasurer. Skills Canada BC provincial competition occurred. Skills Canada British Columbia Provincials 2023 were held at the Abbotsford Trade and Exhibition Center on April 19th. The 17 students coming from our school district did an amazing job at this very tough competition. These are the results as follows. Levi Gary won 3rd for the refrigeration air conditioning mechanic. The Kelsey Robotics team won 4th. The Kelsey Gearbot team won 2nd. Hayden Ross in carpentry won 2nd. Cynthia Berry in culinary arts won 2nd. And Haruki Ikimura won third in cabinet making. So congratulations to all of those teams and students out there. Very proud of all of them and the work that they've done in skills and trade. Also in our careers program, Women in Trades and Technology Day on April the 20th was the annual day that was held at Camosun. The district took a bus load of students who identified as female to explore a variety of trades and technology areas, hands-on activities. It was an awesome event according to Careers. Again, this month, the Careers Department was very proud to hand out 56 $1,000 checks to 56 recipients of the Youth Work in Trades Award. To be eligible for the award, worked 900 hours as an apprentice in a trade and completed 4 work in trades courses. It's very exciting. And in our district, we have probably the highest number over many years in youth and trades. So very exciting for all of these young workers.
Those big checks. That's so much more fun than an e-transfer. Sorry, it's so much more fun than an e-transfers.
Moving on to George Bonner. On April the 26th, they had a professional learning community day to further their learning and social emotional learning. During the April 26th day, the staff had a great session with Hannah Beach, a celebrated educator and specialist in the field of emotional health. Her book, Reclaiming Our Students, Why Children Are More Anxious, Aggressive, and Shut Down Than Ever, and What Can We Do About It, with Neufeld as well. The staff were able to understand the growing crisis in children's emotional functioning, the need for the children to move from mad to sad feelings and to have space and a place to feel their feelings. They are looking forward to having Hannah Beach back at their next PLC in May to further this conversation. They also had a performance of Peter Pan on April the 27th. And so it was performed by students in grades 4 to 7, and the students, of course, were absolutely amazing. And look at those sets. And then moving on to Bench Elementary, they are celebrating a birthday at Bench Elementary. It has had a big birthday. It's over 150 years old. Throughout this year, the students and staff are going to be learning about what has happened in the last 150 years. They are especially interested in learning about how school has grown and changed and how the experiences of the people, students and staff, learning and working at the school are very different through the decades. They have invited the community to share photos and hear stories about their time at Bench. And there is a set of concert, or they are also welcome to tell what they've been mentoring. Bench students have also had the opportunity to look at our artifacts from the student community in partnership with the local museum and the Archive Society. The school will be celebrating its birthday the week of June 12th to the 16th, and they will be welcoming the community into the school for celebration on June the 15th, where they will be sharing and give a chance for alumni and old friends to reconnect and come to see what the school looks like today. They will also be unveiling, that's what you see on the screen, a new sign that celebrates the history of the school and a new refurbished logo designed by Stuart Pagawan that incorporates Coast Salish elements. So there are the 3 ideas around the new Bench Elementary logo. And so it's down to these 3 signs as the finalists with a survey to choose the winner. So very exciting things happening over at Bench Elementary. Then just a few more things to share here without the photos. In Comal Elementary, they have had students who have participated in the Reading Link Challenge, with many reading the assigned novels multiple times. The Reading Link Challenge is a voluntary program promoted by Vancouver Island Regional Library Association, and the team competed against other participating schools in the Cowichan Valley, and their hard work is paid off. They will be representing our district at the Regional Island Challenge this month. Moving on to Drinkwater Elementary, a teacher receives a REACH award. Tamara Hansen, teacher at Drinkwater Elementary, recently received a REACH award and $3,000 to help her continue with her action research project titled Hearing Our Students' Voices. and exploration of young adolescent students' perspectives on inclusive teaching practices. The REACH Award is an award that celebrates excellence in academics and supports creativity and research for an individual to complete an independent research project. We're all very proud of her. Moving on to the 5th annual Crouch Valley Junior Rugby Jamboree. After COVID-19 hiatus, this will be the 5th year hosting a flag rugby non-contact jamboree at the Crouch Rugby Football Club fields. The event this year will be on Thursday, May the 25th from 3 to 4:30. Families are encouraged to come out to enjoy the action and cheer on the youngsters. We currently have 12 schools participating in Crouch Valley area, and we expect upwards of 200 young athletes from both public and private schools. Games are co-ed and for students in grades 5, 6, and 7. We're grateful to Robin McDowell of McDowell Rugby for supporting this event again this year. And many of our young players from our high school rugby academy will be volunteering to actually promote this sport and to help out on that given day. Just to let the board know that on the non-instructional day on April the 17th, the first half of the day was focused on literacy and mental health framework that our district is promoting. And the second half of the day was each school was working with their school teams on a framework for enhancing student learning. And that would be their plan for next year. I just want to share with the board some of the district work that's been going on. We have a ministry peer review team come to really work with us for a day and a half on April 25th and 26th to provide feedback and to look at our strengths and maybe some of the areas that we could be working on around the work that we're doing here. And so they have provided us with a draft look at what our strengths are and what some of the considerations will be. And once we finalize, it will be brought to the board in the future.
Lieutenant, if I may, I was at that peer review. And I think that some of my big takes from that was the peer review team asking me if I was aware of how incredibly lucky School District 79 was or is to have the team that we had sitting at that table. And that they hoped that everyone was aware of how fortunate we are with the competencies that were set at the table. Another couple of takeaways were when some stuff was presented to the team, two members of the team says, you know, if they had only received that when they were teachers, the framework, they said, oh, we would go back to teaching. Maybe, no, not really, but they just wish that they had the resources that the district is now offering. They were very impressed with the way School District 79 story tells. And overall, it just reminded me, not that I need to remind it, but that sometimes I say I'm really confident that our kids are going to get a good education. But once the 1.5 days was over, what I said to the review team, my takeaway was is that I know that our kids are going to get a great education here at School District 79, and the team that we have is irreplaceable. So we're very fortunate, and they agreed, and they wanted me to remind the board or to tell the board that we are very fortunate to have who we have, because other districts are not as fortunate as we are. Did you have a minute?
So at the BCSTA week thing this weekend, I was at a workshop on student voice, and we all did a little table talk thing, you know, and so, you know, what do you guys do? So I said, well, student voice is represented on most of our committees. And I gave them a little bit of background, and somebody said, why can't we do it like Cowichan does it? So it's a thing. We're a thing, a good thing.
So I just want to take this moment to say thank you to the team that was in attendance for the peer review and for their passion and commitment to the district and to our kids. And thank you to the superintendent for creating such an amazing team.
I buried the lead. The person who said that was on the review, who came in and did the review. That was the important one.
Thank you.
Also, I just want to highlight the fact that members of this team, the Secretary Treasurer, Jason Sandquist, myself, as well as our Director of Communications, Mike Russell, presented Identity, Belonging, and Connection Policy at the BC School Trustees Association last Friday at their AGM. So thank you very much, team, for actually participating with me during that presentation. Also want to let the board,
Oh. Superintendent, yes, trustee Cisa.
Just to see, it was a great presentation and that, when you came back to the table after the presentation, like, there were a bunch of people that came over wanting to talk. You know, so hands up to you, it's fantastic.
thank you very much. Moving on to transportation. May is Transportation Registration Month. Information is being sent out to parents and is available on the school district website under transportation. Registration for our next school year can be completed online between May 1st and May 31st, 2023. And parents can also print and email in registration. So we're already gearing up for next year. And as we know, half of our districts and our students are actually bused. So it's a big deal and a big event. This week is Mental Health Week. May 1st to the 7th of 2023 is the Canadian Mental Health Association Mental Health Week. And this year's focus is My Story. Within our stories is the mental health care we all need. Last week, the Health and Wellness Manager sent out this year's Couch and Mental Health Association Mental Health Week poster and key messages to the district overall. This week, they are sending out additional information daily from that area. So, mental health this week. Moving on, reporting and assessment at Couch and Valley School District and Vancouver Island University Couch Campus co-hosted a reporting and assessment EdCamp on the 1st, which was Monday morning. Myself and Mrs. Elder welcomed a number of educators across this province, along with the Ministry of Education, to talk about the new reporting order that is being implemented as of July 1st of next year. And so it was a great camp, and I was able to be there at the very beginning of the day. You'll notice that some of our senior team members are not here this evening because we have a number of members who are actually at the final convening of the Deeper Learning Dozen. That's where we work on our equity principles. And so those are members of the team who are at that event would be Cheryl Porras, Jeff Rowan, Darcy Hawk, Nicole Boucher, and Jennifer Calverley. And so they are in Boston as we speak, in Revere, Massachusetts. In addition to that, we have Darlene Reynolds, our Director of Inclusive Learning, as well as Margaret Olson, our Associate Superintendent, as well as Tammy Renyard, our new District Principal of Inclusive Learning. They are at a conference around mental health in Richmond today and tomorrow. I will be away on May the 17th, which is an all superintendents meeting, which happens on Wednesday. And following that will be a superintendent's year 3 framework on collaboration meeting on May the 18th, which is Wednesday and Thursday. And then I want to let everyone know that we have a what's called a JCAM meeting, which is a jointly convened annual meeting in the spring, May the 25th, where a Couch and Valley team, along with Chris Thompson from Wyattson First Nation, will be attending this 4th annual event, hosted by the Ministry of Education, Childcare, and First Nations Education Steering Committee, which is FNESC. The central purpose of the meeting is to support the success of First Nations students in BC public schools. Key agenda topics will include the new Indigenous focused grad requirements, as well as outcomes and attendance for First Nations learners attending public schools. And then just lastly, just wanted to share that I was able to visit Aiken Elementary School this morning, as well as had just a brief visit with international student programs. School this morning. And that's the end of my report.
Any questions? Oh, it was a thorough one today. All right, moving on to board action.
So you'll see under board action, 6.1, there is a motion for the board to consider. For the last 4 years, the pride flag has been flown at the school board office here during the month of June, which is Pride Month. So there is a motion for the board to consider. They are printed for you that the Board of Education, Couch and Valley requests the pride flag be flown at the school board office from May 31st, 2023 to the end of June 2023 to symbolize its support of diversity and inclusion.
Moved by trustee Souza, seconded by trustee Croft. Any conversation? All those in favor? Thank you. Moving on. Superintendent, yes.
I just, if I could, before the Secretary Treasurer maybe moves into his report, we have a new person who joined us.
I did see that we had a new person who had joined us. So trustees, I'm just jumping back to our recognition. However, Sophia has joined us in the gallery and she was a member of the team that built policy 25. So Sophia, I have a certificate of faith for you. And we just want to speak to you that helping our kids and building such a great policy.
Done that too.
Over to you, Mrs. Nyquist.
Thank you. I am happy to this evening to present the 2023-2024 annual budget. The board has been working on this budget for approximately 4 months, and should the board choose to give all 3 readings this evening, the budget could be finalized for 2023-2024. So I've begun by putting up the guided tour, and this is just a document for the public to have, I guess, a little more of a layperson's terms of what is in the budget and what has changed in the budget and how to read the document. So we prepare this annually, just simply for that purpose. One of the board's budget guiding principles is to be transparent and to report back on the decisions that are being made by the board on the budget. So this document does contain a lot of that information as far as how much enrollment is expected to increase, the various cost pressures, which were related to the 6.75% wage and salary increases for unionized employees. We also have included all the various budget pressures for inflation that we've discussed through this process, and those are also listed in here as well. Also, you will see, if you read the document, what is left in the surplus as far as how much the board has utilized and what that means for remaining. So if the board adopts this budget, it'll be adopted using 2.32 million of surplus. That includes the projected 2022-2023 surplus, and that will leave 3.06%, which is right near the top of the board's 3% contingency allowance. So I wanted just quickly to kind of remind anybody in the gallery that this document is available to help assist with understanding the budget, and it concludes with a breakdown of the FTE, or the full-time equivalent positions that are included in the budget. So here you can see that we have 880 full-time equivalent employees funded from operating, 105 funded from special purpose, and a number from capital, which means we're getting very, very close to 1,000 full-time equivalent employees. Moving forward to the budget, it is not as easy to read as the guided tour. It's in the form that's required by the Ministry of Education. When you look at the statements, they are consolidated. So statement 2 is a consolidation of all those various funds from capital to operating and from special purpose fund. So as we move down, we can see that the total budget bylaw is for $126,431,654, up from the amended budget of $117,867,574. The main reason being those inflationary pressures and the funding that's come in, and that isn't for inflation, but is for the wage increases that are now incorporated in this budget. So the budget bylaw will be in the amount of $126,431,654. The board Education and Business Committee has done extensive work to get to this place of the balanced budget, and all members of the board were present at those meetings. So I don't feel the need to go into it in the same detail as we just did this last week. So with that, I entertain the explanation for staff. Have a motion on the floor.
Trustees, just a reminder that there's no debate on the first reading. That the Board of Education of School District 79 Cowichan Valley gives first reading to the 2023-2024 annual budget in the amount of $126,431,654, moved by trustee Sousa, seconded by trustee Lee. All those in favor? That the Board of Education of School District 79 Cowichan Valley gives second reading to the 2023, there's a typo right there. 2023-2024 annual budget in the amount of $126,431,654, moved by trustee Thorne, seconded by trustee Doman. Any discussion? Trustee Croft?
I just had a question of clarification. So I'm looking on page 16 of the package. I'm looking at additions that have been included, items 3, increased funding for student assessments, up to $80K, further supports of $30K for inclusive education. We had a lot of conversation on this, so I'm just looking for clarification. So within our line items, and if our special needs kids would need this money spent a little bit differently, do we have the wherewithal to do it within this bylaw? Okay. And inclusive education does mean that it's going towards special needs kids, right? Thank you so much.
Any other debate? Hearing none, all those in favor? Thank you. That the Board of Education School District 79 Cowichan Valley considers 3 readings in the 2023-2024 annual budget at this meeting. Moved by trustee Lise, seconded by trustee Thorne. All those in favor? Thank you. That the Board of Education of School District 79 Cowichan Valley gives third and final reading to the 2023-2024 annual budget in the amount of $126,431,654, moved by trustee Sousa, seconded by trustee Croft. Any discussion? Before we pass this, first of all, I would like to say this budget process, trustees, thank you for allowing the change that the Secretary Superintendent and I came up with. We hope that this process was inclusive and transparent as you were asking for, and we hope that you will allow us to move forward in this process again next year. And I would also like to say that this is a good budget. I know that if we could have an extra $40 million to cover all of those shortfalls that we know, but what we do know is that our team is doing the best job they can with the money that they have to do great things for our kiddos. So any other comment before we vote on this? Hearing none, all those in favor? Thank you, trustees, and congratulations. Marianne?
Without cue cards, as we learned not to use those. Your most recent presentation, I too would like to thank the board for your attention for this process. For many of you, it was your first time through the budget process. I appreciate the questions and the diligence and the thoroughness that you paid attention to the materials that we presented. Also want to thank the rest of the district team, most who aren't here, but some of them are. Who, again, we had a lot of conversations that were outside of this table as to how we were going to present the findings. I guess we'll call them findings because we had to calculate all the various secondary pressures and things. So the team was there along, as well as the finance team. Claudia is new to the team, so thank you, Claudia. And we also have Alicia, who you don't get to see, who works as a budget clerk, who helps us as well. So I just want to, and Claire helped me so much with the documents and the presentations. All of those PowerPoint documents were all presented and edited for clarity. So I just thank you to everybody. I think I'm happy with the way the process went this year, and I do think that starting earlier meant that we were at a much more relaxed pace, and I think it meant that we all understood a little bit more than maybe in previous years. We weren't moving at the speed of light through the method.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Trustee Sousa.
Yeah, just say thank you so much. Like the way it was presented made it so much easier and clearer. I don't have past experience in terms of the board here, but it certainly was very clear. And in addition to the science of the numbers, was the art of the presentation and the art of like bringing this together in a way that was not only compelling but also just very clear and really super appreciated that. So my hands up to you and your team, very much a team effort there, and thank you.
Trustee Strecker.
I also want to recognize the chair because it was a really interesting vision that the chair had coming back to the table. And you can't make a vision come into practice without a team, but I really want to recognize you as well for your leadership.
Thank you. The next item in the package is the annual facilities grant. Fortunately, it's sideways, so it is hard for me to put that up on the screen for anyone in the audience. Hope you have it. Yes, hope you have it in your package. This is the planned expenditure plan for the board's annual facilities grant. So that is just under $2.4 million of spending. So extensive consultation happens with the schools, with the associate superintendent corps, along with the director of operations, Bible. Go through and they meet with all the various schools and hear all of their needs for the next year and prioritize those projects out of these funds. These aren't from major capital. These are for minor capital repairs. When it's a major item like the announcements that we had for the ventilation system at Bench or Lake Couch, and those come through separate funding because they're significant in dollar value. So this is the plan. It is the plan as of today. It becomes quite dynamic and changes based on various pressures and needs that come up throughout the year. But the ministry does require that the board adopt this plan prior to releasing the funding.
Any questions? Seeing none, we have a motion before us that the Board of Education of School District 79 Cowichan Valley approves the 2023-2024 annual facilities grant plan as presented. Moved by trustee Thorne, seconded by trustee Sousa. All those in favor? Thank you. And committees and outside organizations. That the Board of Education of School District 79 Cowichan Valley directs staff to add the Early Learning and Child Care Committee terms of reference as presented to policy 8 board committees. And it's 2, sorry. Is it 2 or 1? Sorry, Secretary Treasurer? There's 2 there, right? There's sure. Down at the bottom, sorry. That the Board of Education of School District 79 Cowichan Valley approves. No, this is 2. So I'll just break it up, sorry. That the Board of Education of School District 79 directs staff to add Early Learning and Child Care Committee terms of reference as presented in policy 8 board committees. Moved by trustee Lise, seconded by trustee Sousa. All those in favor? Thank you. That the Board of Education of School District 79 authorizes the 2023-2024 Francis Kelsey Secondary School Soccer Academy fees to be set at $300 per year. Moved by trustee Kraft, seconded by trustee Sousa. Any questions? All those in favor? Thank you. That the Board of Education of School District 79 Cowichan Valley authorizes the 2023-2024 fees for the Performing Arts Academy at the Cowichan Open School to be set at $425 per month or $4,250 per year. Moved by trustee Doman, seconded by trustee Sousa. Any conversation? All those in favor? That the Board of Education of School District 79 authorize the 2023-2024 Francis Kelsey Secondary School Ice Hockey Academy fees to be set at $450 per year. Moved by trustee Strachan, seconded by trustee Doman. Any questions? All those in favor? That the Board of Education of School District 79 Cowichan Valley approves establishing an outdoor adventure academy at Francis Kelsey School and authorizes the fees to be set at $1,100 per year for the 2023-2024. Moved by trustee Lise, seconded by trustee Doman. All those in favor? That the Board of Education of School District number 79 Cowichan Valley approves establishing an equestrian academy at Francis Kelsey School and authorizes the fees to be set at $3,000 per year for the 2023-2024. Moved by trustee Thorne, seconded by trustee Sousa. All those in favor? grammar issues in some of these. Minutes of the climate change at the Board of Education of School District 79 Cowichan Valley. Receives the minutes of the January 20th, 2023 Climate Action Committee meeting, moved by trustee Sousa, seconded by trustee Thorne. All those in favor? The Board of Education of School District 79 Cowichan Valley received the minutes of the March 28th, 2023 BEBC meeting, moved by trustee Doman, seconded by trustee Croft. All those in favor? Minutes of the April 13th, 2023 special BEBC meeting that the Board of Education of School District 79 Cowichan Valley receives the minutes of the April 13th, 2023 special BEBC meeting, moved by trustee Thorne, seconded by trustee Sousa. All those in favor? Thank you. Minutes from the April 20th special BEBC meeting that the Board of Education of School District 79 receives the minutes of the April 20th, 2023 special BEBC meeting, moved by trustee Doman, seconded by trustee Lise. All those in favor? Thank you. Highlights of the April 18th, 2023 advisory committee meeting that the Board of Education of School District 79 receives the highlights of the April 18th, 2023 advisory committee meeting, moved by trustee, seconded by trustee Thorne. All those in favor? Thank you. Highlights from GSAC meeting that the Board of Education of School District 79 Cowichan Valley receives the highlights of the April 13th, 2023 GSAC meeting, moved by trustee Sousa, seconded by trustee Thorne. All those in favor? Minutes of the April 20th DPAC meeting that the Board of Education of School District 79 Cowichan Valley receives the minutes of the April 20th, 2023 DPAC meeting, moved by trustee Croft, seconded by trustee Doman. All those in favor? We have included the highlights of the April 24th, 2023 BEBC regional meeting. BCPC. Is there anybody want to make any comments?
I can, and I apologize if I didn't give the feedback, because there was a summary that was produced, and both myself and trustee, they were present and were fortunate to have acting at the time Associate Superintendent Margaret Olson with us, Superintendent Robin Gray, and Secretary Treasurer Secretary Treasurer Jason Sandquist. It was an opportunity to have a review of the strategic plan for BCPC. And they highlighted the main focus conversation was in two of their strategic priorities, which is inclusion and diversity, and then reconciliation. And an opportunity to get briefings and provide points on operations and a number of areas of. But I will make sure, just for the records, that there's a copy provided.
Trustee Lise, you have anything to add?
No, it was a really great day and a first experience for me, and it was good to go. I must be
Highlights of the April 29th provincial council meeting, trustee Croft.
We passed a number of, we passed the budget. We passed housekeeping documents that then went to the AGM, which were embraced by the electric.
Thank you. 8.11 consent agendas that the Board of Education schools, actually, I'll give you some background on this first. And as we're changing terms of references, I'm sorry, as we're coming together with all of these motions that receiving minutes and so on and so forth, we would like to be able to put them in a block so that we don't have to do all of them one after another after another. However, it turns out that we need to revise policy 7 in order to do so. So this motion that's before you today is a request so that we don't have to go through all of those committee meetings. So the Board of Education of School District 79 directs staff to revise policy 7 board operations to include the option to use consent agendas and bring the revised policy to an upcoming BEBC meeting. So moved by trustee Croft, seconded by trustee Thorne. Any questions? Trustee Sousa.
Yes, thank you. So I was curious about this. I hadn't really come across it before. So I looked into it in terms of, if there's any sort of disadvantages to moving to the system. And one of the things that came up is that, the onus is on us to prepare the material, but there are some cautions around moving to the system that board members, when it's trustees or in some other context, really need to familiarize themselves with the material well ahead of time. So I don't know, like, you know, we usually we receive we receive material Friday before our board meetings, and that seems to be enough time. And we're supposed to anyway be reading the materials, but just to say that the onus is really on board members if we go to this system to really familiarize yourself with the materials, especially if there are minutes or something that might be something incorrect in there. So in approving a package, once it's approved kind of thing. So it's like, so the onus is really on us to use it apart and go through the material to make sure that it's actually all accurate. Yes, so a commenter on that. And then the other piece is, would we use set agendas for just for board meetings? I'm just trying to understand the scope of this.
It would be specifically to the block of minutes, I think is what the proposal is for, and it would provide that as an option that we would be liking to write the policy so that the board would still need another motion to move to a consent agenda, like an official motion, but the policy would then be structured in a way that you could then pass a motion if you chose to or chose not to.
Like at that meeting.
So, Jessica.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to comment on that, and then I came to the same thought that you did, trustee Sousa. However, I also realized that it just means it's more that you come with that particular sentence in mind and you're ready to propose it at the top when it comes up, rather you don't have the option of waiting till they run through it. So really, you're only talking about, in terms of time to review, you're only talking about seconds in terms of time to review. It's just that you have to be ready to do it as soon as it's proposed. And I would just also like to compliment you on your strategy of having us receive no less than 15 different documents before proposing the consent agenda. I thought it was very well done.
Well, thank you. When we talked about a consent agenda, we talked about it strictly for the receiving of minutes at meetings, so that we don't do the one pager that we just did again. So that is the purpose, though trustees should always be prepared before they come to a meeting anyway and know their documents before we come to the table. However, it was strictly around receiving of minutes and committee meeting stuff.
That was one thing that came forward, like I went for different sort of documents looking at this, and that was a constant that yes, like you should be preparing, but you really need to prepare. Like there's no wiggle room around it. Yeah.
All those in favor of the motion? Opposed? Thank you. Before you had scheduled upcoming meetings and events, was there anything in this? Okay, Mr. Steinquist, do we have any written?
So the gallery has been providing comments, but not in the form of board policy requirements. So I'm going to give the gallery an opportunity to list your full name, your address, the item on the agenda that the question relates to, and then the question. So today, there's just been some comments coming in, but they haven't followed board policy, and it's the same for our gallery in person here. We have the forms available if there are any questions.
We'll give it a couple minutes.
Yes.
The gallery will give you another minute or two, and then we'll adjourn the meeting.
Sort of come through.
Yeah, just do a review. far, we're not in compliance, but I do have, I don't have a question specific. Anything that's here, but I'll pass it to the chair. Still don't have, item, there's no question for this one here yet. And then this one doesn't comply with the address and full name.
A little bit longer if the gallery would like to. Board policy.
Special needs, we do have the name and the address, but not the question yet. There's a question, but we haven't had the question yet.
Adrian Richards, can you please send us your question? I have a question from Jen Elmore. Hi, Jen, thank you. Jen's question is, when will in-person meetings resume? The audio is poor and we can't understand. When will in-person meetings resume for the public? Jen, there is an upcoming meeting with the board where we'll be having that discussion, and that will make that decision public at that time, so please stay tuned. I don't see any other questions.
Anything else that's been completed to the form of a question?
I'm just wondering about Adrian Richards.
Oh.
Okay. So this question, Secretary Treasurer, did I misunderstand that the budget is only $30,000 for special needs? And then there was also a comment about hockey fees are not inclusive for all. May I remind the gallery that we do have situations in schools where kids are not able to afford it. There are avenues outside of School District 79 as well as inside of School District 79 so that all kids can get support. So Secretary Treasurer, can you please answer the question on the budget item for $30,000 for special needs?
Yes, that was an addition that was made to the special needs budget, the additional $30,000. The total budget for special needs, which is listed as 110 special education on the ministry template, $18,537,835. Thank you. I have messed up your screen. Can you tell me if there's anything more there, please?
I'm worried about a miscommunication now. Or would you like me to wait? I'll wait.
All right, I see no other questions that follow board protocol of name, address, question, and agenda item. So seeing no other questions, move to adjourn, please. Moved by Trustee Sousa, seconded by Trustee Thorne. All those in favor? Thank you.